Nikolai. Shadow Recon, Book 6. Written by Dale Meyer. Narrated by Tristan Wright. Prologue. Nikolai stared down at the man he'd called a friend for many a year. A man he had already grieved as lost out in the winter wonderland. But one who he'd hoped against hope had survived somehow. And to see his body now laid out in front of him in this state, having been shot by the woman his friend had attacked in the middle of the night, in the very military training center the shooter had forsaken for whatever dumbass reason, was completely beyond Nikolai's understanding. He didn't even know what to say. Yet he knew that this dead man was immediately under suspicion by everybody else. But Nikolai didn't know anything, and certainly had no explanation for the actions of his friend. He couldn't even begin to believe that his friend had done this. He looked over at the others and declared, "It's him. No doubt about that, but before you ask me a million questions—" He paused, shaking his head. "I don't know why he's done whatever he's done. I don't know where he's been or how he's been getting by since he disappeared. I don't even know why he would have left in the first place," he explained. "I don't really know how he could possibly have been fine out there all this time." Then he stopped and added, "Well, that part I probably could answer, at least to some degree. His family, his uncle, was from Siberia. If anybody would have winter survival skills, it would be him." "So why was he here then?" Magnus asked. "Why come for this training?" "I think he wanted to see if you all had any other skills he didn't know about. He used to laugh about it," Nikolai shared reluctantly. "And yet you are part of the Russian team, so you ought to have the same skill set." "No, that's incorrect," Nikolai stated flatly. "I'm not part of the Russian team. I'm part of the Swiss team. Just like you have people from other countries here on your U.S. team, I am from the Swiss team," he repeated. "My family moved to Switzerland when I was very young," he shared, as he looked back to the body of his supposed friend. "This guy," he pointed to the cold, dead corpse, "wasn't even part of the Russian team. He came over on a special assignment from Russia, but he was talking about leaving, about finding a way to switch his team somehow. He wanted to be somewhere else, but I don't know that he ever did anything about it. The thing about him was that he was all talk. He had lots of plans, big plans. I've done actual missions with him. I've been on bases worldwide with him too. But never have I seen him do anything even remotely like he's done this time." "And yet you would have considered him a friend?" Magnus asked. "Yeah, well, apparently I don't know what that means anymore," Nikolai stated bitterly. He looked over to see Emily, one of the few women on the base, standing and staring at him. He looked at her and frowned. "Honestly, I don't know anything about this," he said to the men, not wanting this discussion to be out in the open. Yet Emily wasn't moving. He turned to her and asked, "Don't you have someplace to be?" "No, I don't," she snapped. "I think at this point in time anything that is happening in the training base needs to be something the rest of us get to hear about, instead of us finding out through the grapevine afterward," she said, shooting Magnus a look, which spoke volumes about the confidence she had in all of them telling the truth. Magnus stared at her for a moment and didn't say anything. Then he turned back to Nikolai. "So, Nikolai, what can you tell me about him? Anything more?" "Not really. Outside of the fact that he came over on the Russian team and wanted to shift to another country. And yeah, I'd thought we were friends, but I obviously can't tell you much more than that." "Is he married? Does he have a family? Would he have been coerced into doing something like this?" "No, he would have thought it was a lark," Nikolai declared flatly. "He always thought he was better than everybody else around him. He always knew that he was very, very good at winter survival skills, and he knew that he could live out here way easier than anybody else. Honestly, he spent complete winters outside with his grandfather. This Arctic tundra is not a hardship for him because he knew how to survive out there." "And you didn't think to tell anybody that?" Magnus asked. "Tell them what? He disappeared. Besides, all that he could do and all that he was must be in his file. I didn't know what had happened to him. After being missing all this time, I assumed he probably died out there. We just didn't know how or
Sample complete. Ready to continue?